Let me ask you something. Have you ever apologized just for existing? Have you ever said yes when everything in your body was begging you to say no? Have you ever bent yourself in half to keep someone else comfortable and still it felt like it wasn't enough? If that's you, I see you. If you're thinking you're weak or broken, I want you to know that you are neither of those things. You're someone who learned, maybe a very long time ago, that love and safety had to be earned by making yourself smaller than the other person. But here's the truth. You don't have to live like that anymore. Today, we're talking about the shift from people pleasing to empowerment and what it really looks like to stop living for approval and start living for you. First, please don't misunderstand me. People pleasing isn't a flaw. It's your survival strategy. Many of us learned it in childhood to be agreeable, helpful, don't rock the boat. Maybe you were praised for being the easy one, or punished when you spoke up and talked about your needs. And depending on where and when you were born, you may have been raised in environments that prioritize peace over truth. You may have learned to equate your self-worth with how well you cared for other people. But here's the danger in toxic relationships. Narcissists love people pleasers, because if you're trained to give, they're trained to take. And when you finally set a boundary with a narcissist, they'll twist it until you feel like the bad guy. We've talked about that before. This way of living, of constantly abandoning yourself to keep the peace, it has a cost. You might feel exhausted, anxious, or resentful and not even know why. You've been so focused on being lovable that you forgot that you are already worthy. And maybe now you don't even know what you want. You have spent years anticipating other people's needs, soothing over their messes and shrinking your own light. And yet, no matter what you do, it's never enough. So how do we begin to change this? It's not with a massive dramatic moment, not by suddenly transforming into someone who never second guesses themselves. It begins in a variety of ways. Maybe it's with tiny acts of self-respect. It starts when you pause before saying yes, when you hear that familiar urge to accommodate, but instead you take a deep breath. It's when you stop apologizing for your own needs, when you stop over explaining your nose as if it's a crime that you have needs that need to be defended. Sometimes it's as simple as, can't take that on right now, or I need some time to think about it. Maybe it's just, no, thank you. And yes, it might feel uncomfortable, maybe even terrifying at first, because for many of us, the discomfort of letting someone down feels worse than the pain of letting ourselves down. But that's the conditioning talking. That's the old survival mode. And the real empowerment, it doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't have to be angry. Often it's just quiet. It's a steady voice inside that says, I matter too. And listen, when you start honoring your own limits, it might feel selfish at first. You might hear that old voice in your head telling you that you're selfish, you're distant, you're cold, but that is not the truth. That's training, and it will pass. And what takes place is peace, not the peace that comes from avoiding conflict, but the peace that comes from finally being in alignment with yourself. That's the kind of peace that can't be manipulated or taken from you. That's empowerment, and it doesn't have to be loud. As you move forward, take a moment to reflect on your daily interactions. Notice the moments you're inclined to default to your people-pleasing tendencies. Recognize that each of these moments presents an opportunity, a choice point where you can decide to honor your own needs and your boundaries. Empowerment is cultivated through consistent, conscious choices. It's about building a new narrative where your voice and your needs are just as important as those of others. This journey may involve setting clear boundaries, practicing self-compassion, and seeking support from communities or resources that resonate with your path, because I know this isn't easy. Remember, this transformation doesn't need to happen overnight. It's a gradual process of becoming more attuned to your authentic self and embracing the discomfort that may come with chance. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small, and be patient with yourself as you navigate through this journey. By choosing to prioritize your well-being and assert your boundaries, you're not only enhancing your own life, but you're setting a precedent for healthier, more balanced relationships. Your courage to step into your empowerment paves the way for others to do the same. For those of you who are new to my podcast, I'm Kyle Hackley, attorney and author of Undercurrent, a story about Annie who breaks free from her narcissistic marriage. But Annie isn't just one person. She's anyone who has ever experienced narcissistic abuse. And Are You Annie is a space to hear you, to validate you, and to walk this healing journey with you. Here, you are not alone. I want you to remember that you are stronger than you think. I want you to be tenacious and never give up on what's important to you. Thank you for being on this journey with me, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.